So what if you're asked to change a regular old number, just a plain number, into scientific notation? So it's going to look like this. You're going to start with a regular number, and when you're done, you're going to have a number in scientific notation. So I have two examples here. So let's look at each example. Here's the cheat sheet to help you to figure out how to do this step by step. Here we go. If your number starts like this, remember your decimal points at the end, right? So rewrite your number, 685,600, your decimal point at the end. And then if you are going and having to move your decimal point this way, remember in scientific notation, you want to get it right after the first number. So now I have my decimal point right after the very first number is, or digit that's in this big number. Let me show you that again. The whole point of scientific notation is so that you have one number and then a decimal point, right? And I'm going to show you what I mean. The whole point of it is for you to have one number and then a decimal point. All scientific notation is written either with the number or the number and then the decimal point after it. So my decimal point is here, and I need to get it right after this 6. I have to count how many times I have to move it to get it there. That's what my exponent is going to be. So my decimal point is at the end, so I moved it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. My new decimal point goes right there. So my number is 6.85600. You could put the zeros if you want or leave them out. Doesn't matter. So how do I write the number? I just look to see where I put the decimal point. And when I rewrite the number, I make sure I put the decimal point there. 6.856, 6.856. Now, I have to put a multiplication sign and a 10. And then I have to count how many times did I move that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my exponent. Okay, so let's look at another example of that. If my number starts like this and my decimal point is over here, I need to get that decimal point in front of the first number that is 1 or bigger. Okay, so the whole point of it is I want to get a number and then a decimal point. The number has to be greater than 0. So I can't put it here. That would put a 0 in front. I can't put it here. That would put 2 zeros in front. So I need to move my decimal point right after this first digit that is a number that's greater than 0. So I'm going to count how many times I move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had to move it 5 places to the right. If I moved it 5 places to the right, it's going to be a negative exponent. So I'm going to put my decimal point right there, 7.873. That's the number I write, 7.873. And I put a multiplication sign, and I put a 10. And then I remember, oh yeah, I moved my decimal point to the right 5 times. If I'm moving it to the right, it's negative exponent. If I move my decimal point to the left, it's a positive exponent. So let's look at our tips. If you have to move the decimal point to the left to get it in front or after this number, then your exponent is positive. If you have to move your decimal point to the right to get it after the first number, after the 7, your exponent is negative.